How are you? I hope all of you are doing great. My name is Kanyomozi Rabwoni, and I'm just going to introduce myself and what I do. I am an on-air personality. I do radio, manifesting TV. I am a student. I do governance and international relations. I'm a feminist. That is my political ideology, and those are the values and beliefs that I align my work with. I'm a business owner. I own Obonire that does Afrocentric accessories. I've also recently started a business called Amaka that does interior design. I'm a content creator and conversations with Kanyomozi, blogging, vlogging, and recently a podcast. I'm also an employee and a Choose Yourself. I'm a Girl Talk program director and a Home Away from Home coordinator. Girl Talk does feminist conversations, and Home Away from Home works with refugees. Now, I gave all of that because my talk is understanding your potential. And all the things that I've listed are in line with my potential. So when I was getting ready to be part of TED Talks, obviously planning my topic, my content, and all of that, but the next thing was, how am I going to look? Because I'm not going to embarrass myself. And I remember speaking to my mother and telling her, what should I do with my hair? Should I braid it? Should I do a slick back? No. And she says, no, do your afro. Comb it out, that's the real you. So I'm going to use my afro as an analogy, I think that's what they call it, for understanding your potential. If you are a naturalista, have dubbed around natural hair, have thought of doing natural hair, or if this is the first time you're hearing anything that I'm going to give you, it's a learning process. The first thing is transition a big chop. And that's either working with your permed hair until it goes to natural or completely cutting it off. Now, with understanding your potential, you either grow into it or you start from the bottom. The next thing is learning what works for you. So learning your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your needs, your personality traits, your characters, what works in line with you. For one thing, they'll tell you YouTube channels and coconut oil and all these different things. The next thing is exploring and figuring it out. So you try one thing, it fails. You try another thing, it goes amazing. So, for example, with me and coconut oil, not the best of friends. It does horrible things to my hair. But me and shea butter, on the other hand, were amazing. Once you come into exploring, you understand. And when you understand, you then become consistent. You become consistent with your routines, you become consistent with your hair, and finally you're flourishing, like the afro on my head, but also you're flourishing with your potential. So, we've got the analogy. Okay. Potential is having or showing the capacity to grow into something in the future. In my opinion, it is to be more than one thing that you're capable of. Potential is an internal resource that you have not yet tapped into. It's scary. Stepping into your potential is scary. It is terrifying because what if you're not good at it? What if you don't know? What if you fail? Because what potential asks of you is to take risks. For me to be able to be on radio, I had to get on a mic. The first time they offered me a microphone, it was at a radio station in Uganda. I couldn't speak. Me, known to be outgoing and confident, not shy, the words completely failed me. Because what if I got onto that radio, and for that day, the first tweet would be, who was that chick? And we have to be aware of then what stunts our potential. The first thing being fear, if I fail. The second thing being, I don't know enough. And that was another reason why I failed to get on radio the first time they offered me the opportunity. Because I didn't know enough. I've never been on radio. How did I create content? Does my voice sound nice enough? Should I continue? And sometimes we fail to step into our greatness because we want a foolproof plan. But that may never be a thing that you're able to get. Self-doubt. I don't know if there are many creatives in here, but I'm a creative. And I remember when I started my blog in 2018, the biggest fear was posting my first article. Not because I was a bad writer, but because I didn't think it was good enough. So I continuously stepped on my potential to be a writer, to be a good writer, to be able to influence people with my words or relate with people, because I can't do it. It is impossible. Moving on. Another thing I learned stepping into my potential was the fact that you can be multifaceted. Back to the list of 70,000 things that I do. You don't necessarily need one specific thing. And I think sometimes we get lost in, I like arts, but then I also like this, and I like that too. So how am I going to do all of them? Being multifaceted means having multiple cells and being more than one thing. I learned this from a friend who's a fellow creative, financial analyst. She's called Patsy Mugabe. And what multifaceted means is you fail to struggle with choosing a path because you can be multiple things. I can be an on-air radio personality and at the same time a business owner. I can be a content creator and at the same time a community organizer, because all these tap into my interests. So for a long time I thought I was confused, but since all these things worked in alignment with who I was, it wasn't a difficult thing. However, being multifaceted doesn't mean go out and do everything and anything, because it wouldn't make sense for you to tap into your potential and touch things left, right, and center and fail to be efficient in delivering things, because then are you in your potential? Being multifaceted has allowed me to explore without fear of failure, because I can fail, and it's fine. It's okay. I remember when I was joining radio, I took a course, and at some point I wanted to be behind the scenes, production and whatnot. But my patience doesn't serve production work, because production work is long, it's tiring, it's hours, it's looking for every single mistake. And I allow myself to say, it's okay, here, let go and let good. I'm content in finding that I can succeed in multiple things, because I refuse to choose to be one thing. Because she's a radio host, she can only be a radio host. Maybe she can tap into an influencer, but that's just who she is. I've refused that. It is my potential. These are my capabilities, my multiple capabilities, and I'm able to run them efficiently. And I'm just going to run through how I found out that I have multiple potentials in these different things that I do. With being on air, I won't lie, when I walked behind the stage, I mentioned that the first time I was here was at about 10 years old, 9, and we had a play, and I was the queen. So from a very young age, I've loved attention. And for me, media is that for me. It gives me space to be seen. But I also grew it into a skill, into being able to communicate. And I went out and chased it. Chasing it means growing that skill. It means educating myself. It means learning from other people. It means picking mentors. How did I become a business owner? One of my friends mentioned, we're having lunch this week. He said, Fia Lisa, she can't even sell the country. I know I have the power of God, but I also really like money. So that's how I ended up being a business owner, because I knew there was potential with selling products, making good products, and being able to use that, to tap into that potential as an individual. Being a content creator came from Sharing and communicating. I love to read and teach. I love it when people say, oh, I did not know that, or I did not hear that. I also love to learn. So I hope that people have the same yearning, and that's why I am a content creator. And finally, choose yourself. This was the embodiment of understanding my potential. I signed up to be a community organizer and a choose yourself when I was 18, 19. I just left high school. I did not have any qualifications. I remember the list said 21 and above. I had never done feminist organizing. The most I knew about feminism was the fact that I read books about it. But I shot my shot regardless, because the last thing they can say is no. And if they say no, I move. But I do not want to leave with the constant regret of what if. It's years later after joining Choose Yourself, and I was promoted to a program coordinator. I joined another program. I'm a better organizer. I am more informed. I even have thoughts of starting my own organization because I took the chance regardless. What plays a role in understanding your potential? The first would be an open mind. You have to be open to saying, I am multiple things. I really like Patience's TED Talk and how she looked at different options in her life to be able to find her true potential. And I know her personally, and I've seen her growth in the past year or so. It's mind-blowing. A discerning spirit. This goes back to being efficient and effective in your potential. It doesn't mean that you should necessarily do everything and anything, but do things that align with your brand, align with your joy, align with your talents and skills, and align with your capabilities. Focus. I don't think I'd be able to do the things that I do if I do not have focus, if I don't have goals for myself, if I don't know what I want to achieve. Because with potential, you have to have, I say don't do a full-time plan, but actually do a full-time plan. With potential, you have to see where you're going for you to be able to stay on track, for you not to be derailed from the bigger picture. And patience. Sometimes things take forever to manifest. I was awarded Employee of the Month last month at my employment. And I'd been working there 3 years. 2 of those I was not, 1.5 of those I was not being paid because media in Uganda is fantastic. But I was trained. I remember talking to friends of mine multiple times. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave. But 3 years later, me being patient and holding on, there's so much that's manifesting for me that I don't think that if I gave up, if I dropped the mantle, if I said, I can't do this anymore, I would still be doing it today. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to consistently be willing to take risks. If you fail, you fail. But how about if you actually pass? There's that thing, if you fly, I've forgotten. Let me leave it. But risks, you have to be willing to take risks on a daily. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But when it does, there's so much contentment. There's also the importance of growing your confidence as an individual and knowing that you're capable, that you can do it. This works well when you have a great support system. I consistently talk about my friends because I don't know what I would do without them. Even on days when I think I'm not doing enough, it's not great enough, it's not going well, I have people who will consistently tell me, sis, you're doing amazing. Breathe in, you've got this, 101%. And it's important for you to find a tribe of people who are able to be that for you, to be able to fuel you when your tank is reading E. What are the benefits of stepping into your potential? Contentedness. I've been very happy for the past 6 months, and that's because I'm doing every single thing I'm loving. Every time I walk into my office, or I get to do sales at my business, or whatever it is, I'm happy genuinely. I'm happy that, God forbid it, if I go today I've done each and everything that I wanted to do in the now. I know for the second business, I really wasn't ready to start it, or the plan was not to be ready to start it. But I was like, why not? What if you don't make it to 2022? What happens if you're stunting your growth right now? The second thing is excellence. That's in itself self-explanatory. You are excellent when you're stepping into your potential. And excellent you can define for yourself. Not everyone is supposed to be excellent to a standard that probably society has set for us. You are excellent in yourself as you please, whatever that looks like to you, whatever that is defined for you. And that taps into success as well. Success for some people is money. Success for some people is peace of mind. Success for some people is multiple things. But when you're stepping into your potential, you allow yourself to define that success for you, and then it comes naturally. The fourth thing is purpose. I'd like to believe there's a reason why each of us are here. The reasons vary, and I don't like when people say, oh, your reason is to be great. There's some people who are not supposed to be great, and it's fine. Whatever it is that your purpose is, as long as you're stepping into your potential, you're finding that for you, you're getting what works for you, you're stepping into your purpose. The final thing which came to me as I was here, actually, is confidence. Stepping into your potential makes you a more confident person, a more confident individual. I know for a fact 3 to 4 people have asked me, are you nervous? And I'm like, no, I really am not, because I'm a communicator. So this is literally my potential. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm tapping into what I'm supposed to be tapping into. I'm walking my purpose. So there's no need for me to fear, because it is, it is my purpose. And I think with that, I can give my conclusion. Take your time and be intentional about finding whatever your purpose is. Take risks, but take calculated risks. Does it make sense? Is it possible? Stay informed, because knowledge is power. That is very cliche. I said it when I was writing it. But actually stay informed. Inform yourself on your decisions, on learning, and all of that. Network to create room for the exposure you will need. Me being here is because of networking. But it's important to meet people, because you learn from people. People open your mind. Live without regrets. That goes into shooting your shot. You literally have one life to live. Did we expect a pandemic? We did not, but here we are. So before you know it, you'll be flourishing like my afro.